So, good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome you to our talk this evening. This talk is on sport and DCU sport and life at DCU. So, welcome everybody that's attended the talk. Just to start off, I'm going to just give you an overview of the presentation. I'm going to talk you through the value of sport at DCU and how sport is so important as part of our DCU community. I'll talk you through the facilities across our 4 campuses. I'll also chat to you about our sports programs for students from social sport right through to competitive sport. I'll talk to you about sports scholarships and our CAO point concession program for those who are performing sport at a higher level. And then finally, I'll talk to you a little bit more about the student leadership development opportunities and then the key contacts in the department. If you'd like to ask any questions, just feel free, just pop them in the chat as I'm talking, and I will answer them at the end of this talk. So really, I suppose just to start off, sport at DCU is a huge part of the DCU community. It's a huge part of our student experience. And I suppose just the value of sport is one thing I'd like to highlight at the beginning of the presentation. It adds such a huge dimension to a student's experience, from everything right through to physical, personal, academic, professional, and social. It adds value in terms of settling into DCU and managing those transitions, meeting new people. It gives students a chance to try new activities and that they've never done before, and to be part of a wider community. And I'll talk you through a little bit more about kind of the student involvement in leading sport. But a really key thing that our students tell us is that towards the end of their studies, that the value of sport has added so much to them as a personal development, but also in terms of their professional development. And really, it gives them that opportunity to stand out and to demonstrate the skills that they've learned outside the classroom and that they've applied outside the classroom. So it's a huge part of, I suppose, the DCU's transformative experience, and a chance to really develop and grow academically, personally, and professionally during the time at university. So I suppose, what has DCU got to offer? We have 4 sports campuses, or facilities, I suppose, across our sports campuses. We've got the DCU Sports Complex, which is the Glasnevin campus. We have pools, gym, we have a soccer centre, a climbing wall. There's a sports hall with a full-size basketball. And that hall also accommodates other sports like our martial arts, badminton, racket sports, yoga, fitness classes. So there's a huge array of opportunities on the Glasnevin campus. Our St. Patrick's campus down in Drumcondra also has outdoor pitches and a gym and sports halls. We also have 35 acres of sports pitches on the Ballymun Road, where most of our team sports play: soccer, rugby, GAA sports. And then more recently, DCU has acquired Morton Stadium, the National Athletics Stadium, which is in Santry. So that stadium offers a full-size athletics track and also gym and ancillary training facilities. So there's a huge opportunities for students to access these facilities across the campuses, to get memberships, to use the gym and use the other facilities, but also to join as part of our DCU sports clubs. Moving on then, I suppose alongside our facilities, we complement them with a number of different sport development programs. And I suppose our programs, we aim to cater for students from all levels, right through from a beginner who's never taken up a sport before, competitive sport for students who want to represent the university, performance sport for students who want to excel and develop in their sport, maybe at a county level, a regional level, national or international level. And then finally, the work that we do to develop student leaders. So I suppose like a real key ethos to what we do is to just ensure that there's something there for everybody, no matter what level that you want to get involved in sport. So I'm going to talk you through just some of our sports areas now and explain the opportunities available for students. So first, like participation in club sport, we've over 37 sports clubs on campus, and I'll talk about them in a little bit more detail in the next slide. But I suppose our clubs offer opportunities for students to try a new activity for the first time. and to get involved at a recreational level for fitness, for social, for fun. We offer a range of different leagues on campus. So again, come along, play, get involved, and have fun, and obviously stay fit as well. So things like Astro leagues, futsal leagues, tag rugby. We've got running and walking groups, so organised groups where students can get together and just, socialise and do fitness at the same time. We've yoga and Pilates courses, as well as walking routes. We've a beautiful park right beside the university, Albert College Park, literally a stone's throw away, where there's opportunities there to run and walk at lunchtimes. And also our sports facilities, as I highlighted there, across all our 4 campuses. Club sport is what we call, I suppose, the heartbeat of university life. We've 37 sports clubs. Our clubs are all student run and student led. They're governed by student committees, and the students basically, decide the events that they want to run, the competitions they want to do, the coaching. The sports on offer range from everything from indoor sports, racquetball sports, water sports such as like canoe, sub-aqua, sailing, adventure sports like rock climbing, mountaineering, hill walking. We also have all your traditional team sports like rugby, athletics, soccer, basketball. And so there's a huge array. There is something there for everybody. And we really encourage students when they come to university is to try a new activity and get involved. You'll see there from some of the photographs, some of our successes across our sports clubs in athletics, in rugby, and also in GAA and basketball. Our clubs train weekly during the academic year from September right through to April. And many of our students are also remain members of external clubs as well. So I suppose one of the great advantages of university sport is you get that opportunity to represent your college and play other colleges, but also continue your sport with an external club as well. And as I highlighted earlier on, all our sports cater for beginners right through to the competitive level. And we've seen some amazing stories where students have come and got involved in sports that they've never done before and represented the university. And I suppose one of our amazing success stories, one of the students who just went to the last Olympics, a boxer called Jenny Lahan, she took up boxing for the first time when she came to DCU. And found her sport and excelled in her sport and had the huge achievement of representing Ireland at the Olympics this summer. So I suppose, key part of what we do is try and nurture that to meet students where they're at and give them that opportunity to develop and excel. Our students get a chance to compete internationally. So many of our sports have student-led teams, but they also then get the opportunity to get involved with Irish universities teams, so to compete. So, for example, our soccer team the Irish soccer team recently played against a French university side, so students can get selected for that. And then I suppose the key competition is World University Games, which happens every 2 years. Again, it is like a mini Olympics where students get to participate on the world stage against other universities. And I'm just looking at a comment coming in there asking if the basketball team is student coached. So we do employ coaches for all of our teams. We prioritise the employment of qualified coaches for our team. So most of our teams are coached by qualified coaches. We do offer opportunities for students to develop as coaches as well, and often they will support coaches and also work with, say, maybe lower level teams. So coaching would be a huge priority. We look to employ high level coaches to give our students, I suppose, the best opportunities for training and for competitions. So I'm going to move on to talk about the performance sport programs. And I'm sure many of you on the call today are interested in the performance sport programs. So I'm going to talk you through what programs we have. And there's 2, CAO Point Concession and Sports Scholarship Program. I'll talk you through the difference between the 2 programs, and then I'll also talk you through how to apply. So performance sport is a key part of our sports program. Like we're hugely proud of the achievements of our students. And I suppose a key part for DCU is that students will develop during their time here. So our 2 programs are I suppose the differentiator between the 2 is one is a pre-entry program to help students gain entry into DCU, and that's the CAO point concession. And then the second program is post-entry support, which is our sports scholarship program. So I'm going to just talk you through both those programs now. So the sports scholarship program, as I was saying a moment ago, that is a post-entry support program. The aim of the program, I suppose, is to help a student, I suppose, balance their studies, but also excel and develop in their sport during their time at DCU. So to do that, we offer students a number of benefits and support, and these are tailored depending on the level of the student. And I suppose one thing we do, the student, I suppose, in return would then compete for university in university competitions. And so that's a key part, that they contribute to the competitive side of the club, but also to maybe the administration and the development of the club also. So the type of supports that our sports scholarship program offers, firstly, a financial subsidy, and that can be anything from €500 up to €4,000. And I suppose the differential there would be the level of athlete. So for example, we have a couple of students who've just been to the last Olympics, so they would be on the highest level, which would be €4,000 for a year. And some of our lower level athletes, maybe in development squads, minor county level, would be on lower amounts of €500 per year. But in addition, I suppose, to the financial subsidy, those students also get a number of academic and sporting supports. So they include membership to our sports complex, and that's either the Patrick's campus, it could be Morton Stadium, it could be, we've gyms on all our campuses, so they can use all of them. We also provide strength and conditioning support, so the student athlete can go along to a squad session, or they can do one-to-one strength and conditioning. We offer high performance education talks and workshops, and that's on a range of different subjects. Again, it could be on strength and conditioning, it could be on nutrition. We look at areas for career support as well. And it's really to give students, I suppose, that wider sports science knowledge to help them develop during their time in DCU. A key part as well, we offer academic support and academic flexibility. And for some students, I suppose, performing at a high level means they miss a huge amount of their academics, or at certain times in the academic year. So academic support, what we would do is we would have a mentor for the athletes, and we'd give them the opportunity to meet them throughout the year and highlight areas where they need help. And we would look then to put supports in place whereby it be grinds or support from their peers. Another key area is academic flexibility. So DCU is a Sport Ireland Institute ASAS accredited university, and what that means is we've been given recognition for our support for athletes, and a key part of that is having an academic flexibility policy. And what that means is, for a student, they could get either flexibility in terms of assignment deadlines, in terms of I suppose assignments, coursework, attending classes, and in some cases, some students will actually split an academic year over 2 years. So they will do half of the modules in 1 year and the second half of the modules the next year. We see that commonly with an Olympic cycle, and that gives the student that flexibility to be able to manage their sport and their studies at certain times throughout the year. So that's really important for a student who's performing maybe internationally. Other areas we provide are access to on-campus accommodation. So we would have priority to access to some rooms for sports scholars. We don't fund the rooms, but we can get students access, which can make a huge difference to their training schedules living on campus, being able to access training. We offer peer mentoring. So we would try and match a student to another student, maybe in second year or third year, just to help support them as they settle into college and as they navigate both their sport and their studies. And again, that would be under our dual career support, really, I suppose, focusing on dual career being the concept of managing sport, managing studies, and putting those supports around the student. Access to international and national competition, so that would be university competition, but also international, whether it's World University Games, European Games, and then finally coaching expertise. And as I mentioned earlier, all of our university sports clubs would have high level coaches working with our students, continually developing them. So that's really just an overview of the supports. Our scholarship program is offered on an annual basis. And students could then reapply each year. So some students will have a scholarship for the duration of their degree. And I'm going to move on to the CAO point concession. So what we see is many of our high performing athletes will be eligible to apply for both the scholarship and CAO point concession. So just to kind of summarize, CAO point concession is that it gives student athletes on application to the first year of an undergraduate degree, an opportunity to gain entry on lower points than the CAO. And this lower points takes into account the fact that they have been balancing their sport and their studies, and their academics may have suffered. So in DCU, our reduced points is up to 25 points below the CAO for a course. So for example, if a student gets 400 points and that the course that they want to do is 420 points and they're eligible under CAO point concession, they will be made an offer for that program. So basically a certain number of academic places are reserved for students who meet this high level of sporting achievement, and applicants are not assessed on academics only, but their sporting achievements are taken into account. So again, at a high level summary, CAO point concession is I suppose pre-entry into DCU on lower points than the CAO. There are no supports with that program. Sports scholarship is post-entry support, and that means the student will get funding and other supports during their time at DCU. There's a question in the chat box there about application programs, so I'm going to talk you through that now. But just before I go there, I'm just popping up a picture of some of DCU's current and past scholarship athletes. So like on the top right there, you'll see Baveen Parsons and Jack Raftery. Both Baveen and Jack competed at the last Olympics in rugby and athletics. You probably recognise Tyke Furlong there, and Nadia Power and Brendan Hyland. Again, some of our very successful athletes. And I think what I love about these athletes is they were hugely involved in our clubs, or are in the case of Baveen and Jack, and a huge part involved with DCU and developing the student clubs as well. So our performance sport programs, I'm going to talk you through how to apply. So our performance sport program application process is an online application form. It opens on the 1st of February 2025, so that's in a week and a half's time. It's an online form, and the application form will be available on our website, and I have the link there, dcu.ie/sports scholarships, but we'll have it quite prominently on our website once it goes live. The closing date is the 1st of May 2025 at 5 p.m. So it's open for a good 3-month period. I suppose it's one application form, and it's important that when an applicant is applying, that they tick that they want to be considered for either one or both programs. Just to explain, the advice that we would give to any incoming first year is, if you are performing at a high level, make sure you apply for both programs. Some questions that we do get asked, if you could be successful in one program, you could be successful in both programs, or you could be successful in neither program, depending on your sporting achievements. But just to confirm, I suppose for CAO point concession, you may apply, but you may not need the points because you may get them yourself. So it's a good fallback for a student in case they don't get the points. So again, we do have more information up on our website, and we're actually in the process of developing a new website, and that new website will go live for the beginning of February as well, alongside the application form. There's a number of staff in our department, and I'll highlight them at the end of this talk. If you're in a particular sport and you have questions about eligibility criteria, sports criteria, I will put up a slide at the end, and you can note down the key contact for your sport and reach out to them with specific questions about your application for sports scholarships or CAO point concession. But I suppose before I go to that slide, I just want to highlight, we prioritise in DCU the development of student leaders. As I was saying, our clubs are all student run and student led. Our high level athletes are all involved in our club, and it's a huge part of the DCU student journey. And I just want to highlight some of the opportunities. We have sports club committee roles. So a student could become the chairperson or the treasurer or public relations officer for a DCU sports club. We have high-level governance committees for all clubs, which is called the DCU Club Life Committee. There's opportunities, say, to run futsal leagues, astro leagues, tag rugby leagues as active DCU ambassadors. We also offer opportunities. We love having some of our communication students get involved as journalists, some of our sports science students get involved as coaching or data analysts as well. So, there's huge opportunities. If you don't play sport at a high level, you get injured during your time at DCU, you can engage in sport in many different ways. And I suppose for DCU, that the importance of that is the skills that you will develop as a person, but also how much they will add in terms of your own competencies and skills when it comes to the end of your time in DCU and applying for jobs. It will really differentiate you from other people on your course in terms of your skill set. And I suppose as much as we offer opportunities to get involved, we also give developmental opportunities, and we also recognise and reward our huge achievements of our student, and that's on the pitch but also off the pitch. And we do that through our Club and Society Awards. There's a DCU Engagement Award that you can do, a bronze, a silver, and the gold level, which is Union module. So Union module is quite unique. We always used to call it the jewel in DCU's crown, in terms that a student can do a module in final year, and in some programs it contributes towards their degree, and in others it is an additional module. But it's a way for a student to demonstrate the skills and competencies that they have gained through the volunteering activities that they've been involved in, through sport, through clubs or societies. So that's hugely important for a student when they come to final year. And then finally, we have National Student Sport Awards through Student Sport Ireland, and we've been very successful in DCU students getting individual leadership awards or awards for running events. I have a short video that I'm just going to show you, just to, I suppose, give you a feel of some of the DCU sporting and high performance areas. Apologies, sorry, someone just popped in the chat there that they couldn't hear the video, and as sod's law, it worked when we did our test run earlier on. But hopefully the images there may have given you a snapshot of, so I suppose, the sporting life at DCU, and I suppose the importance of it and the values that it can bring to the student journey from first year right the way through to final year. So apologies again. So as I'm coming to the end of my presentation, please, if you have any more questions, pop them in the chat. I'm going to flag some of the staff, the key points of staff, particularly around the performance sport programs. I'll just go through them, and if one of your sports is there that you're interested in, please note down the name. And if there is nobody for your sport, Molly Moran, our sports scholarship manager, her email molly.moran@dcu.ie, you can pop your queries through to her and she'll be able to advise you on any other sport. But just one question I have there in the chat is if students applying for a sports scholarship have to be doing a sport-related degree, and the answer is no, they don't. So our sports scholars come from all of our faculties across the university, from science and health, engineering, business, Institute of Education. So it's your sporting achievements that will give you a sports scholarship, and you could be doing any program in DCU. And now, so just back to the staff. So for any queries, particularly performance sports, so Molly will be able to deal with any general queries. Fran Butler is the soccer development officer. Andy Wood is our rugby development officer. Then for GAA, there's 3 members of staff. There's Paul O'Brien, there's Dave Sweeney, and then also Louise Byrne. So if you have any specific queries about scholarships, my advice would be to contact those individuals and let them know your level of sporting achievement, let them know what course you're interested in, and keep in contact with them, because they will support you as a student at the pre-entry stage. So I'm coming to the end of my presentation now. If anybody has any more questions, please pop them in the chat. I'm happy to stay on for a few minutes and answer any questions. But I suppose I hope this talk has given you a good overview of all that's for offer in sport in DCU. And hopefully we look forward to seeing you joining us in September. Thank you.